This look right here is totally inspired by the upcoming weekend's festivities. So this is nighttime glam, seductress, sexy look. We have smoky eye, we have a red lip, signature for Valentine's Day, but overall pretty wearable. You know, nothing too complicated in terms of the technique. So if you want to do something that looks dramatic but isn't incredibly difficult to achieve, this is probably a good look for you. I'm also going to post a video that's more of a pink themed Valentine's Day look, more appropriate for the daytime or if you're doing girls' night out, which I love that that's becoming more popular for Valentine's Day these days. Like, what's more fun than going out for dinner or for brunch or whatever with your girlfriends and celebrating each other? You know, it's not only about the men. So that look will also be posted soon and is a little bit lighter than this, but very pink and girly. I hope you enjoy. Please like and subscribe and comment, share. You know the drill. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye. So first things we're going to do is to prime the face. So Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer is what we're using today. And this is great for smoothing out any pores or rough patches and giving you a nice smooth foundation. Next, with the new Becca color correcting backlight concealers. These are amazing. The peach color is what we're going to use under the eyes because it'll counteract any dark coloration. As you can see, my circles were really, really bad. I hadn't slept very well the night before, so this was necessary. And then with the pistachio color and a tapered Sigma brush, I'm going to cover up any red areas. So it's different on everyone's face, so just kind of take a good observation, but mine are definitely the small red veins on the sides of my nose, between the eyebrows, which is a hormonal area for women that kind of causes redness, and even like the tops of my lids because I had cleaned up my brows earlier in the day and they were still a little bit red. Some redness on the chin. Just kind of look overall on your face, and the green will help to counteract that discoloration. Because my under eye circles were so bad, I went back in with the Becca brightening cream and just layered that on top of the peach. Next, with a little Fix Plus on my foundation brush, I'm going to use the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Stick Foundation. I've raved about this before. It's a really beautiful formula. And the Fix Plus on the brush just kind of helps spread it out since it is so thick. Not necessarily making it too much more sheer because it's very full coverage, which is what we want for this look because it's so dramatic. But it just makes it easier to spread the product so that you don't have to wipe it all over your face. You can do just a few big swipes across key areas, and then the Fix Plus and this beautiful brush, which is an It Velvet brush that I bought at Ulta. Highly recommend this brush. It's worth the investment. So once you're done with your foundation, we're going to go in with concealer. I'm using 2 shades of the Naked by Urban Decay Weightless Concealer. The color that matches my skin I use to prime my eyes, and then just blend that out with a Sigma Kabuki. And then I use the lighter shade as kind of concealer and a highlighter. So focusing on the under eye area, starting at the base of the nose and going in a triangular shape out toward the temples. Also center of the forehead, Cupid's bow, center of the chin, anywhere that you want to kind of bring forward with some light. And then with a damp Real Techniques sponge, I'm going to kind of blend all of this out and combine it with the foundation, giving a really flawless combination. And then with the Marc Jacobs Instamark filter powders, I'm using the lighter shade and the tapered end of a Tarte brush to just kind of set that under eye area. So this is a great color if you have a medium skin tone. The Marc Jacobs palette does come in other shade combinations, but this is just the one that works for me. It's number 40. I'm also going to set the lid so there's no creasing from the concealer we put there, and then the other areas where we kind of concentrated concealer. I also get some movement sometimes around my nose, so I put it there as well. Cover FX Contour Kit in G Light Medium, and we're going to use this darkest shade and a flat, I think this is actually a flat foundation brush. It's nothing special, just make sure it's a flat surface so that you can apply it in this smooth motion. And starting at the temples, focusing on the hollows of the cheeks and up into the cheekbone, we're going to bring that down slowly and have it taper as we get closer to the cheek and the mouth. We're also going to bring it up to the temples, the outer edges of the forehead, and I've talked about this before, and I will go into more detail in an upcoming contour video, but you want to contour more of an area that you want to make look smaller and less in an area that you want to bring forward. Also under the jawline is a great tip. It really can help give structure to the edge of the face and draw back any areas of your neck that you're not as in love with. And then back with the damp Real Techniques sponge. This will just help blend everything out. Blending is the key. because we're using cream products, you have to make sure that you blend it after you've applied it so there's no streaky areas. Now to do the nose, we're going to use the Smashbox Contour Stick Trio. This is the darkest shade, the contour shade. And going down from the bridge of the nose to the tip of the nose in a narrow area, based on the shape of your nose, you may want to do this differently. You may not have to go as high up. You may not have to go as far down. Basically, if you want that nice, thin, narrow shape down the center of the nose, put the dark color wherever your nose is wider than you need it to be. It may not be the full length of your nose. And then with the highlight stick from that same trio, we're just going to reinforce that line down the center. And with that same tapered Morphe brush, just kind of blend it together so that it's smooth. And go over it once with the sponge just to make sure all of the products have combined on the face. This is an optional step, but drawing a little line right above kind of the tip of the nose can give that turned up look and just adds a little bit of structure to the tip. Also in this kit is kind of a shimmery highlight cream shade. We're just going to emphasize the highlight by adding a strip of that, and again, blend, blend, blend. Starting with the eyes, this is the Naked Basics palette from Urban Decay, and the Naked 2 kind of light gray shade is beautiful as a transition shade when you're doing like a really dark smoky eye and working with blacks. So just using a Sigma, I will link the exact brush down below. This is a really nice fluffy Sigma blending brush. It's one of my absolute favorites. You're going to put this in the crease and then blend back and forth up toward the brow bone using circular motions and windshield wiper motions. Next, with the blackest shade in the palette, we're going to use a slightly smaller blending brush. This one's from MAC. It's the MAC 217 because it's a little bit more precise. And we're going to dab that on the outer corner of the eye, kind of sweep it across the lower half of the crease, and then reinforce it on the inner corner of the eye. So because this is a really dark, smoky look, it is okay to bring it all the way to the inner corner. In fact, that's what we want. Not every eye look is it appropriate to bring a super dark shade all the way to the inner corner. It really depends on how big or small or open or turned out you want the eye to look. Dance interlude, please excuse me, but Spice Girls was playing, and I'm a child of the 90s, so I got really excited. So then we're just going to do the other eye. Part of the secret to this is just being patient and layering, so you don't want to expect to put all of the dark product that you need on all at once. So dab and blend, layer on a little bit more to achieve the right level of darkness that you're looking for, and then make sure you blend it back and forth in the crease. I recommend keeping the color a little bit lower in the crease and not bringing it all the way up to the brow bone, but then take the fluffier Sigma blending brush that had the light gray tone on it and just go back and forth over the crease to make sure that those colors are combining and that you're getting a nice blended smooth look. Now with the Urban Decay Vice 4 palette, which is gorgeous, we're going to use this really dark black shimmery shade and a flat shadow brush. This is from an earlier Urban Decay palette, so I'm sorry that I can't link it below, but any flat shadow brush will do. And you're going to want to coat the entire lid with this, but do not bring it up above the crease. You don't want to look like you have a black eye or panda eye syndrome. We just want it to be really smoky around the actual eyeball area and the edges of the lids, and then blend it out once you get into the crease. So this is what I'm doing here, just with that MAC brush, is going over the crease to make sure that there's no harsh edges to any of the areas. Next, from the same palette, we're going to use this very glittery gray shade, spraying that same flat shadow brush with a little bit of Fix Plus to help the glitter adhere. It's hard to see the glitter in this shot from the video because I'm so low in the frame, so I apologize, but it did add a little bit of sparkle to the black. Next, we're going to use the Urban Decay 24/7 Waterline eye pencil. So Urban Decay has a ton of their 24/7 eyeliners. This is the one that's specifically for waterline. And when I tell you guys that this stuff does not come off, I am not kidding. I tested it in the store just to make sure the black was black enough on my hand, and for an entire 24 hours I could not get it off. It did not matter how much makeup remover I used. This stuff was on for good. So when they say that this is waterproof, they're not kidding. So when you're lining your waterline, it might be a little uncomfortable because you don't like touching your eye, but just go slow until you get the hang of it, and you should be okay. Next, to do the lower lash line, we're going to take a flat definer brush and that same black from the Basics palette and start at the outer corner and kind of just taper it in along the lash line all the way to the inner corner. So you want it to be darker and a little bit thicker on the outer corner and bridge with the shadow that's on the top lid and kind of winging out, and then taper it as you come in towards the center. And then with a kind of little tapered pencil brush and that original light gray shade from the Basics palette, the Naked 2 shade, we're going to blend over the black that we put there just so it's not harsh, and kind of draw it down. Next, we're going to do a coat of mascara. We're going to use false lashes, so this does not have to be perfect. And this is my favorite mascara of all time. I know it's from the drugstore, but this CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume Mascara is the best. It's just the best. And the wand is one of the rubber wands instead of bristles, and I really think it hugs the lashes better and helps you get a really thick, thorough coat all the way from the base to the tip of your lashes without a lot of extra effort. So for lashes, we're going to use these Violet Voss Wisp Me Good lashes. Yes, that is actually the name of them. And I'm having such a good time dancing that I didn't even notice I dropped my lash with glue on it. Such a hot mess. Okay, we got them back. So I start by putting the middle of the lash band on the center of the lash line, and then I attach the outer corner and then the inner corner. I do use tweezers, but be careful. You don't want to poke your eye out. There are special false lash adhesive tools that can help you do this with a little bit less of a sharp metal point near your eye. And I love these lashes. They're so wispy. And then coat the bottom lashes. You can use the same mascara. That's another reason I love this brush, is that it tapers towards the end just the perfect amount. So if you turn it vertically, it makes it super easy to coat your bottom lashes without making a mess on your bottom lids. So to do the brows, I'm going to use the Hourglass Arch Brow Definer, just kind of brushing out the brows with the spoolie and then using the angled, chiseled tip of this brow pencil to start to carve out the brows. This is very similar to the new Anastasia Brow Definer that she just came out with, in the sense that it's not a round, narrow little pencil. It's actually a very angular, trapezoidal pencil, I guess would be accurate if we're talking geometry here. And I really am not a fan of the shape of my brows, so it takes me quite some time to really sculpt out the shape that I'm looking for. But once you get there, make sure you brush it out so it looks natural. And then I set my brows with the Benefit Gimme Brow in light medium. I like this because it sets it, but it also adheres to the hairs and makes them look thicker for an even more natural look. And then I did the other brow. I don't think you need to watch me do it twice. And then we're going to move on to blush. So this is the new Urban Decay Gwen Stefani blush palette, and I'm in love. You guys, they're so beautiful. We're going to use that bottom center shade, which is kind of warm, but not super peachy, not super pink, so it goes well with this neutral dark look. And bring that from the kind of outer edge of the apples of the cheeks back toward the temples. But you guys need this palette. It's so beautiful. Next, for highlight, we're going to use Becca's Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Opal. Usually I use Champagne Pop by Jaclyn Hill, but for this, the tonality of this look, the Opal was just a better shade because it's not quite as peachy. It's a little bit more neutral. And even a little bit in the center of the forehead is good, the Cupid's bow. And then with a pencil brush, you can go in and do your brow bone right under the bottom of your brow to keep the eye looking lifted. And I actually ended up adding some to the inner corner of the eye, just a little bit, not like a stark highlight, but just a little bit to make sure it doesn't look too heavy. And then with Beauty Bakery's Lip Whip in the color Cranberry Stiletto. This is such a beautiful red, and it does dry a bit darker, so it's fairly dramatic and vampy. For a liquid lipstick, I have to say the Beauty Bakery Lip Whips are my absolute favorite formula. They're really lightweight when you put them on, and they do not smudge. Do not smudge. They dry like paint, like a stain into your lips. And you can eat, you can kiss, you can drink, you can do whatever you got to do all night, and this stuff is not going to come off. I actually wish you all luck when you try to take it off with makeup remover because it requires a good scrubbing. I wish they would come out with more shades in this formula because their lip whips are seriously best in the game. You can only buy them online, though. That's the only inconvenience. They're not really sold in like Sephora or Ulta yet. So maybe that will come soon. Let's keep our fingers crossed. And because this is such a dark color and, you know, liquid lipsticks can be so finicky, if you're not perfect, it's okay. Just go back in with a thin little angled brush and some of your concealer and just line the edges to clean it up. Then we're going to set the face with Urban Decay makeup setting spray, and this look is complete. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope everyone has a wonderful Valentine's Day doing whatever you're doing. Look fabulous, have fun, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.